I'm 17, and this is how my family moved into a house that feels wrong in a way I can't ignore. We drive through a fancy neighborhood in our rusty old Honda. People stare at us as we pass like we don't belong. At the very end of a quiet lane, I see it, a tall, old house set apart from the others with dark evergreen trees behind it and a forest that seems to go on forever. "That is our new house?" I ask, amazed. Dad laughs and says yes. Mom says it was a great deal. I don't understand how we can afford it, but I don't push. I'm just shocked this beautiful, serious-looking house is going to be ours. My little sister Lena, who is 8, shouts that she wants her own room. My little brother Kai, who is 4, pouts. Mom promises Lena she'll get a room to herself. None of us knows that soon she won't want to sleep alone at all. Inside, the house is big, proud, and old. It also smells sour, like something rotten is stuck deep in the walls. Mom says the smell is why the price was so low. The dogs, Chiefy and Miss Bear, don't seem to mind. They run up and down the halls all day, barking and tracking dirt. At night, they growl at nothing, but we tell ourselves it's normal. Old houses creak. Wind makes sounds. We'll get used to it. Days pass. I notice something strange. I can hear Kai talking in his room even when no one is with him. Our bedrooms are side by side, and the walls carry sound. Lena sings her K-pop soundtrack on one side. On the other side, I hear Kai mumbling softly, like he's having a conversation. Mom asks him who he's talking to. He says, "My friend." When she asks who the friend is, he just shrugs and says he doesn't know. My parents look at each other with a worried face I don't fully understand, then decide it's fine. 4-year-olds have imaginary friends. Life goes on. But the dogs keep acting upset at night. One evening, Miss Bear sleeps at the foot of my bed. The house is quiet, no wind, no strange creaks, yet she starts growling at the shared wall between my room and Kai's. I tell her to stop. She gives a sharp bark, then suddenly yelps, jumps back, and runs out with her tail tucked. Fear rushes over me so fast it nearly knocks me over. I follow her into Kai's room. Kai is sitting up on his bed, calm, facing our shared wall. "It's okay," he says to Miss Bear. "It was just my friend." I don't like how he says that. I go back to my room, but I can't shake the feeling that something is wrong with that wall. The next day, I push my dresser away and look closely. There's an air vent near the floor. Above the baseboard, I see an old brown stain, thin lines dried in streaks, like something red once splashed and ran down. I smell the same sour odor from the house. It's old. I tell myself it's nothing, old paint, old spill, whatever. I shove the dresser back into place and try to forget it. Later, Mom asks Lena to come grocery shopping. Lena always goes, but this time she says no and stays home. When Mom leaves, I ask Lena what's wrong. She says very quietly, "This house is scary. It feels like we aren't the only ones living here." I tell her it's just a big old house. We need time to adjust, but I'm not convinced either. The smell, the stains, the dogs, Kai's friend, the way the neighbors stare, it all stacks up in my head and makes me feel sick. That night, I half wake because one of the dogs is sniffing my feet. They do this a lot lately because the house smell probably sticks to everything. I nudge the dog away and mumble for it to stop. The sniffing fades. I start to fall asleep again, and Lena screams. It's not a small scream. It's a scream that means danger. I run to her room. She's sitting up in bed, pressed against the wall, blanket clutched up to her eyes, staring past me at the far corner of the room. "Someone. Behind you," she whispers. My body turns slowly, like it belongs to someone else. In the dark corner for a second, I think I see a shape. I'm not even sure what it is. Maybe a girl or a woman, naked, blood on her skin. No face, just the shine of 2 eyes. I scream. Lena screams again. Dad bursts in and flips the light. The corner is empty. He demands to know what happened. I point, arm shaking. Lena points too. In the bright light, I see it, near the floor, more old stains, thin brown trails like the ones behind my dresser. Mom hurries in and looks at Dad. The look on her face scares me more than the shadow did. It tells me they know something and didn't tell us. "There's nothing," Dad says firmly. "Old houses are spooky at first. It's normal." Mom tries to say something, but he stops her. He points at the dogs, who have come to see what's wrong. Even they get spooked. We settle down. Lena asks to sleep in my bed. I agree. Truthfully, I need her there as much as she needs me. As I drift off, I think I hear Kai's soft voice in his room, as if he's talking to someone again. The next day, we move around the house like everything is normal, but it isn't. We speak carefully as if loud words might awaken something. Lena doesn't sing at all. The silence feels heavy. While I'm mopping dirt from the floor, Kai goes to the kitchen. Mom is chopping vegetables. Dad just came back with grocery bags. Kai speaks in a small voice. Can we go back to our old house? I don't want to talk to him anymore. Mom goes white. Dad sighs and swears under his breath. I hear Mom say, we should tell Ari. She's old enough. I drop the mop and hurry in. Tell me what? Dad sends Kai to watch TV with Lena. Then he looks at me and says they weren't completely honest. The smell isn't the only reason the house was cheap. Something happened to the family that lived here before us. They died, he says. They were killed. In this house. Tears burn my eyes. I picture the blood on the wall. Tell her the whole thing, Mom says. Dad nods, angry at himself or at the situation. The father killed them, he says. Then he killed himself. I sit down, shaking. And you bought this house anyway? Mom says it was a once-in-a-lifetime chance, then admits maybe it was a mistake. Dad refuses to believe in ghosts. He calls the house creaky, old, normal. He wants this to be our dream home so badly that he won't look at the truth. We carry on. We tell Kai to ignore his friend. Lena slowly goes back to her songs. The dogs calm down some nights. I try not to think about a murdered family living in our walls like a bad memory that never fades. Then one afternoon, I hear Kai crying in his room. He almost never cries. I find him sitting cross-legged on the floor, face in his hands. He came back, he whispers. Who? I ask. My friend, he says, then shakes his head hard. No, the scary man. I feel cold. Where did you see him? Kai points at our shared wall. I look. On his side, the paint is clean and the little desk sits in front of it. There's an air vent near the floor, just like in my room. I hug him tight. Do you want to sleep with me tonight? I ask. He nods fast. Really? Really? That night he runs in with his pillow. I tell him to close the door so the dogs don't come in and lick our feet, because I hate that. We read a book about a boy and a dragon. I almost ask again about the scary man, but seeing Kai's face fall, I change the subject to his favorite shows. He smiles. He falls asleep. Sometime in the deep night, I feel a wet nose or a tongue on the bottom of my foot. I mumble, stop, half asleep. The licking stops. A minute later, I sit up suddenly. The door, it's still closed. If the door is closed, the dogs can't be in here. My heart races. I step softly onto the floor and whisper into the room. Chiefy, Miss Bear? No answer. No dog. I touch my foot. It's damp. Sweat, I tell myself. A dream, I tell myself. I climb back into bed and stare into the dark. At the foot of the bed for a breath or two, I think I see a girl shape again, blood on skin, eyes like cold glass. I turn away and force my eyes shut. I'm too old for this. I whisper, stop imagining things. The next days are quiet. Kai sleeps in his own room again. I don't feel the licking again. When I catch shapes in corners, I blink them away and pretend I never saw them. Routine returns. Weeks pass. I start to believe maybe we're okay. I take the dogs for a walk one afternoon. They pull me hard down the street like they always do. The air is clean and cold, and the trees by our house look like black teeth lined up in a grin. As we turn a corner, I see a neighbor outside watching me. He looks like he wants to say something. He looks like he has been waiting for me to walk by. The dogs tug and I slow down. I'm suddenly sure he's going to tell me something I don't want to hear. Something about the family who died here. About stains nobody could wash out. About sounds in the vents and voices that travel through walls. About a little boy who used to talk to a friend. About a girl who used to sleep with the light on. About a father who walked at night with heavy steps and a hand that never let go of the things it did. The neighbor opens his mouth. The dogs pull. For a second, I can't breathe. I already know we are not the only ones living in this house, and whatever else he is going to say, I feel it waiting for me the moment I go home. Behind the dresser, near the baseboard, low on the wall, in the corner where the light doesn't reach, in the air vent that breathes in and out, in the soft, wet touch on my bare foot, in the little voice I hear through the wall at night, when Kai whispers to someone who doesn't answer out loud. I keep walking. The neighbor's words hang in the air like a cold mist. When I reach our lane, the house is standing there at the edge of the forest, tall and old, smelling like a memory that never left. The front door looks like a mouth. Inside, my family moves around the rooms like actors in a play. We speak softly. We don't look at the corners. We don't talk about the stains. We close our doors at night and pretend that keeps things out. But I know better now. The house keeps everything in: the past, the screams, the father, the girl, the smell. I open the door anyway and step inside.